Though the response was small, I do want to say thank you to those who watched and commented on my first video. I don't honestly expect I'll use this channel much since 1. I don't have a great many ideas for what to do with it, and 2. The few ideas I do have are related to the current controversy around Vic Mignogna, and said controversy will die down eventually. When I do have video ideas though, I'll work on them and upload them here for the few people who care. Also, feel free to leave any suggestions in the comments as well regarding anything you'd like to see me cover. Okay, so there hasn't been much in the way of new developments around the Vic Mignogna controversy since my last video. No surprise there, he hasn't yet reached the GoFundMe goal for his legal defenses, and even if he had, legal cases don't get resolved in a day. So what's this video going to be about? Allow me to present to you Fix the Broken Staircase, an online list of unsavory individuals and predators that attend conventions throughout the year. The website explains that a missing stair is a member of a community who is known to be unsafe, and yet who members of the community continue to work around and accommodate rather than excluding him for the well-being of the group. Everyone around them knows that there's an issue, but because the problem's been there for such a long time, people have learned to jump over it. They explain that their goal is to bring to light the problems faced by many people in the convention scene, i.e. the broken stairs, and instead of ignoring said problems, make efforts to fix them. An admirable goal, to be sure. If there are indeed predators in the community that have gone unnoticed or unaddressed, then it might be a good idea to expose these people for what they are. There's just one problem. This list is not vetted in any way, shape, or form. Literally anybody can be added to the list without any documentation or follow-up. Granted, the list does try and make a distinction between those on the list with documentation of the alleged transgressions and those without documentation, but the categories often become intermixed. The list claims that those with multiple documented accounts of their transgressions are listed in red, those with a single documented account are listed in black, and those listed in gray have accounts without any corroboration. However, scrolling through the list reveals multiple errors in this regard. Of the 35 people listed in red, which is supposed to mean multiple sources corroborating the claims, 8 are listed with only one source. In one case, the source is not even an account by the victim, but a second-hand account on behalf of the victim. 4 are listed with no sources, and 2 are listed as having sources that are for some reason not public. This means that more than a third of the people listed in red are listed incorrectly. So fuck that very much. Of the 22 people listed in black, meaning one documented source detailing their alleged transgressions, only one is listed without any documentation, which is seemingly a step in the right direction, until you realize that 6 of the names listed in black actually have multiple sources detailing their misbehavior, and therefore should be listed in red. This means that nearly a third of the names listed in black are listed incorrectly. Only this time it's not to the detriment of the accused, but to the detriment of the accusers. Of the remaining 20 people listed in gray, meaning no corroborated documentation of their alleged transgressions, there is only one error, where one person is listed in gray despite having one instance of documentation. That is, admittedly, a bit less problematic than 26 out of 77 people on this list being included despite no one being able to publicly prove they've done anything at all. More than a third of the people on this list could have been added for literally any reason at all, like someone having a single bad experience with this person and wanting to get back at them. Hell, you don't even have to know the person. I'm sure you guys have people you don't like that go to conventions. Just submit their names through the Google form listed on the site and go to town. Say they harassed you. Say they stalked you. Say they raped you. Say they raped you a dozen times. Doesn't matter. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You can tell because the site has a caption at the bottom of every page telling you to believe survivors. You just know that whoever runs this site is either a woman or a guy who looks like this. Speaking of, who does run this site? A quick scan of the FAQ section will reveal that it's run by a nameless and faceless person known only as the moderator, who listens non-judgmentally. Yeah, fucking right. Seriously though, what an absolute coward. How dare they hide behind a generic name like the moderator? Really, the very notion is unconscionable. I have no respect for people who hide their identities like that. What a fucking loser. So, how does this relate to the Mignogna controversy, aside from him being one of the names listed in red on the list? Why is it relevant? Well, I have a theory, and I'm certain many of you out there feel the same way, that Vic was targeted unfairly and unjustly. Why he would be targeted like this is not known, though you can probably take a guess. His race, his gender, his religion, and his political views are some of the more accepted reasons for the attacks. But my theory is that he was too touchy with fans, and when people started to call him on it, Rial and company saw an opportunity for some quick internet validation and a way to get rid of someone they never really liked. So they made up or heavily exaggerated the accusations, and the rest is history. In the end, though, the reason why he was targeted doesn't really matter. The main point to take away from this is that if he loses this court battle because of non-issues, like being too touchy with fans, and because of he said, she said testimony, then it will tell these people, and other twisted bitches like them, that they can get away with this shit. That they can get away with targeting you and destroying you if you don't fall in line with their beliefs. And this list is a symptom of this whole ordeal. This list is propagating the idea that accusations without evidence are A-okay. This list is telling people that what happened to Vic as a result of accusations without evidence is something we should just accept, because we should believe survivors, the very idea of which has become increasingly problematic. The notion that survivors should always be believed above the accused is a dangerous line of thinking. That is not to say that survivors should be discredited automatically because they could be lying, rather that the accused has just as much of a right to give their side of the story and be given the same respect as the survivor until evidence comes to light. Jumping to conclusions helps nobody in the end and only creates division. Now, there are some people out there that would have you believe that innocent until proven guilty is a concept that only applies in a court of law. These people are fucking retarded and dangerous. Innocent until proven guilty is a courtesy that all should be entitled to, regardless of race, age, gender, religion, political views, etc. It is a concept that should be applied to any situation where someone's integrity and livelihood are at stake, even when no criminal charges are evident. This simple idea is designed to keep us from succumbing to vigilante justice. Unfortunately, in recent months, vigilante justice has begun to win out more and more. Vic Mignogna is a prime example of that. He's had his primary source of income stripped away and was scarcely given a chance to defend himself, aside from a few Twitter posts made well after the damage had already been done. This man's reputation has been put through the shredder when at this time nothing has been proven other than he was in some cases creepy towards fans and occasionally a diva towards convention staff. That is not something a man's life should be uprooted over. If he truly has done what Marchi and Rial are accusing him of, if they really are telling the truth, then they're right. He shouldn't work in the business again. But their erratic behavior has made it increasingly hard for me to believe them. Their threats of violence, their copy pastas, their disrespect towards religion, their spurging when they're called on their bullshit, everything. After hearing and seeing all of this, if you can actually say with a straight face that you are 100% sure Vic wasn't targeted with malicious intent, if there isn't a single doubt in your mind, then you are in denial and you are a fool. Could he have done what he's been accused of? Yes. But the more I look around, the more I listen, the more I pay even a modicum of attention, the less inclined I am to believe what comes out of the mouths of these cunts. This is what the Me Too movement gives us as a society. The Me Too movement used to be about protecting women, but that obligation has long since dried up. It has changed from a pro-women movement to an anti-men movement, and this list is a byproduct of that sentiment. This list is not about protecting women. This list is not about protecting convention goers. This list is not about protecting anybody. This list is about sending a message to people, primarily men, that if you don't fall in line and conform to the standards set in front of you by your colleagues, you will be replaced. They are actively looking for the proverbial smoking gun that will end your career, and it's only a matter of time until they find it. No matter how talented you are, no matter how important you are, no matter how clean you are, no matter how kind you are, they will find a way to make you pay for even deigning to disagree with them. And it's only a matter of time until this tumor metastasizes and spreads beyond the entertainment industry. If this Vic situation goes the way Rial and company are hoping it goes, then you could be next, and there's nothing you can do about it. This has been The Throwaway. See you around.